Good evening, keep pounding nation, and welcome to another Carolina Panthers Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I am your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Wow. The Carolina Panthers do the unthinkable. That's right. The Carolina Panthers on the road in one of the toughest places to play gets the upset victory over the Green Bay Packers by a final score of 16-13 to improve to a record of 5-4. And this was Carolina's second away victory, and it was a big one. It was a big one. You know, on paper, it might not have been a pretty win, but it was a big upset win, as they have knocked the Green Bay Packers down to a now 5-2-1 record. Not only that, giving the Packers their first loss at home, courtesy of the Carolina Panthers. I have to say, there were definitely some areas I was very impressed with this game. I caught most of it late and then went back and watched a lot of the major highlights. But if it's one thing I will say, one word that describes the Carolina Panthers currently: resilient. Resilient. And this game was a statement, especially after getting destroyed by the Buffalo Bills. They come back and they get a big victory on the road against a very strong Green Bay Packers team. But yeah, let's get into these stats. So, Bryce Young, 11 of 20, 102 yards, one interception, got sacked once. So, not great stats from Bryce, but something I wanted to mention that was brought up. When Bryce Young throws less than 30 pass attempts, the Carolina Panthers are 8-5. Just something to think about. When Bryce has less than 30 passing attempts, the Carolina Panthers are 8-5. So, just something to throw out there. Rico Dowdle definitely has sealed the running back one. Definitely has sealed it. 25 carries, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Chuba had 5 carries, 17 yards. Bryce Young, 2 scrambles for 9 yards. Jimmy Horn Jr. had 1 for 7, which was a first down run. But yeah, I think it's definitely safe to say Rico Dowdle's the RB1. You know, still keep Chuba. But definitely Rico Dowdle has been playing great. Make him the RB1. If they haven't by now, I think he has earned that RB1 spot. No doubt about that. Tetero McMillan, 4 catches, 46 yards. Xavier Legette had 1 catch, 22 yards. Rico Dowdle had 2 for 11. Not a whole lot in the passing game. Like I said, only 102 yards total. So, not much there. Not much. Shout out to the defense. Carolina Panthers defense forcing 2 turnovers. You know, the forced fumble by Christian Roseboom, scooped up by Nick Scott, and the interception by Trayvon Morrig. So, that was good. Turk Wharton, got the one sack on Jordan Love. But shout out to the defense, really holding strong. And to be honest, the defense did an excellent job in the red zone. Like I said, I know they gave up the touchdown late in the game, but you got to give the Carolina Panthers defense credit. The red zone stops, forcing Green Bay to only field goals. And, even one of the field goals they missed. McManus even missed one. So, shout out to the Carolina Panthers defense. I know they still got to get back to it when it comes to the pass rush and all. Josh Jacobs did have a decent game. 17 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown. He got the one and only touchdown from Green Bay. But Green Bay definitely flourished in the passing game a lot more than Carolina. Jordan Love, 26 of 37, 273 yards, but he had the one interception and he got sacked once. Romeo Doubs, 7 catches, 91 yards. Christian Watson, 2 catches, 58 yards. Luke Musgrave, 3 catches, 34 yards. Tucker Kraft, 2 for 20. Chris Brooks, 2 for 24. But realistically, Jordan Love in the passing game, they got theirs. They definitely got theirs. And also, shout out to the Carolina Panthers offensive line. Offensive line really stepped up this game. Josh Nijman, he stepped up. Like, the O-line's depth was definitely tested, and they stepped up and delivered in this game. Only gave up 1 sack, but this O-line definitely looked a lot better this game than the Bills game, for sure. So kudos to the Carolina offensive line. And like I said, Rico Dowdle, he is definitely our number one piece on offense currently. There's no question about that. And shout out to Ryan Fitzgerald getting the game-winning field goal, especially after previously missing an extra point on the second Rico Dowdle touchdown. But this team kept fighting, and like I said, they did a good job keeping Green Bay out of the end zone, especially until late. Not only that, let's see. There's a decent bit of penalties. Green Bay had 7. Carolina had 5. Carolina was 4 of 10 on third downs. Green Bay was 7 of 13. But Carolina was 2 for 2 on fourth downs. 11 rushing first downs, 6 passing first downs, 2 from penalties. Both teams had 7 total drives. 7 total drives. Green Bay did win the time of possession battle by 20 seconds. But yeah. But when you have more turnovers, it's hard to win. When you keep racking up turnovers, it's hard to win. But ultimately, just seeing Carolina's resiliency, to come back after Green Bay got the touchdown to tie the score and to finish strong. Matt Fitzgerald, that's now 2 game-winning field goals for the rookie kicker this season. So, dude has definitely been doing some things. Now, there's a couple of things that I gotta point out though. There's a few negatives. First off, the defense still has to do a better job of short yardage situations, not playing so far back off of the receivers, because that's gonna open up the defense easily for like quick slants and whatnot the opposition to get the easy first down. So they got to play up closer on the short yardage situations. Secondly, Mike Jackson, dude, you literally had a wide open ball thrown your way in the end zone and you dropped it. Realistically, that should have been a pick six. All that room he had, he honestly could have gotten a pick six. So, it was a little embarrassing, but at the same time, it was on fourth down. It was still a turnover on downs anyway. So I was kind of bothered by that, but it can be forgiven because it at least resulted in a turnover on downs. Also, just have to continue to work on finishing drives. Especially for the offense, they gotta get chunk plays. This is still a passing league. They gotta get chunk plays. So the passing game still needs work, but they stuck to their roots of defense and running the ball. That's what they did this game for sure. So it is what it is. But the fact of the matter is, Carolina beat a very strong Green Bay Packers team in Lambeau to improve to 5-4. And I'll say this. Whether Carolina makes it to the playoffs or not, to be honest with you, if it's one thing that this Carolina Panthers team has shown, is they are very, very resilient. And at this point, on paper, Carolina is capable of beating any of the other 31 teams in the NFL, especially after this win. Because like I said, not every win is going to be pretty. Not every win is going to be pretty. But a win is a win. Not only that, with the way Carolina's schedule looks, they honestly have a good chance of going 3 in a row because they play the Saints next and then the Falcons. They got a chance to go up 7-4 these next 2 games. And if they're able to do that, they could be in prime position to hopefully really fight to secure a playoff spot, even if it's a wild card. But one thing's for sure, this team is extremely resilient. And now we're at a point where, despite finishing with just 5 wins last season, the season ain't already over and Carolina has hit their 5th win. So, that says a lot. That says a lot, and they got a chance to do even more. Not to mention, what a depleted O-line, health-wise, they shut down Micah Parsons. They shut down Micah Parsons. Insane. Just amazing that they were able to do that. And when you think about it, they shut down Rashawn Gary. He didn't have a single sack. He didn't have a sack. But just seeing Carolina's O-line being able to stop Micah Parsons and keep Rashawn Gary at bay says a lot. Says a lot. So, the Carolina Panthers' depth showed up today, for sure. Especially on that O-line. But like I said, mad kudos. Like, game balls I would give to, of course, Rico Dowdle. I would say Rico Dowdle, Trayvon Morag, and Matthew Fitzgerald. That's who I would give game balls to. But like I said, at the end of the day, a huge victory, a big upset victory for Carolina to get the win in Green Bay. And I think this just goes to show that this team can be a threat to other teams. This was proof. This was proof. Especially bouncing back from that obliteration they received at the hands of the Buffalo Bills and to come back and beat the Green Bay Packers, that says a lot. And now Carolina is in position to take on some weaker teams these next two games and get to 7-4, which would be huge for Carolina. But we shall see. We shall see. But great game for the Carolina Panthers to pick up the victory. It was close, but a win is a win. So let me know what y'all's thoughts are, how y'all are feeling about this, and just let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Keep pounding. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to get through this. And yeah, what a victory, a big upset victory. 16-13 Carolina over Green Bay. I'm looking forward to seeing where this team goes next after a big win like that. Main thing is they are very resilient. Do not count Carolina out just yet. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. For another Carolina Panthers talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. God bless you, and I'll see y'all in the next video and our live stream. Peace.